Here's my Do I FIT PowerPoint presentation by myself, Carlos. So a little bit about myself and my personal background. I was born October 1st, 1999 in Baltimore, Maryland. I attended Archbishop Curley High School. I am a freshman at St. Francis University and I'm currently on the football team. Position is slot receiver and I also return kicks and punts. My major is physical therapy, and what physical therapy is a branch of medicine used to improve a patient's quality of life through examination, diagnosis, and why does therapy interest me? Union Memorial physical therapist because I broke my arm my freshman year in high school playing football, and I remember the passion and love that they showed for helping other people become better and get back to their full potential. And that's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always had a passion for helping people, and this just helped me find my major and my career path. As far as the at my very best assignment, I had 5 people discuss when they saw me at my best. Those 5 people were my mother, my JV football coach, Mikkel, my third grade teacher, Miss Smith, friend Tia, and my uncle, Andre. The one that stood out to me, and this occurred at the Carrington House dinner at my high school. The Carrington House was a program for people struggling with drug addiction. I volunteered here for this once a year where I served them dinner and drinks and dessert. I'm being very attentive that night and showing great hospitality and also welcoming them back at any time. I did this pretty much my freshman through senior year. It was something that I loved doing, and I just love helping people and listening to their life stories and see if I can give them any motivation and anything that I can do to help them, like advice wise, to help them better their life. So, some of the ideas that I would like to discuss would be some of my personality characteristics. I always showed good hospitality and I was a good listener. I was always ready to serve and very open to hearing people share their life experiences. In relation to how this would be essential for being a physical therapist, is physical therapists always show great hospitality to their patients and they're always listening. They listening to how their injuries could have occurred and how some of their routines and exercises that they might try could also not benefit because of the injuries that they have in the past and they just might not be able to do those type of exercises. Some other characteristics and ideas that I'd like to discuss would be motivation, power, and conflict. As far as motivation, I show great determination in one of my very best moments that my third grade teacher said at the science fair. It was third grade. We had a science. I remember putting forth my best effort and trying my best to get an A and going over and beyond to achieve the best grade that I could possible. And in relation to this as a physical therapist, the physical therapist is always determined to get the patient back to full strength no matter what. They're always thinking of routine to do to help them at home when they're not there and they're on their own. I was also always ready to help when someone was in need. For example, at the Carrington House, I was always willing to volunteer there all the time. I also had good communication skills. I was able to listen and adapt. For example, my last varsity football game at John Carroll, all year I played running back and corner. First string quarterback I got hurt, so I had been taking reps there like before the game at quarterback in case they needed me to do that, but I never thought that I would have to get in. One play, our second string quarterback moved me from running back to quarterback, so I was able to adapt to the change of me playing quarterback, listen to the play calls, and adjust my playing style since I was playing quarterback at the time. Now, as far as the power and conflict idea, I always found a solution. For example, our JV football game against St. Mary's. This was the year, my sophomore year, where we both were under conference, and this is one of the last games that would determine who would have a higher seed in the playoffs. And I remember that night that they game planned for us, and the whole night we were not able to run the ball or even pass the ball, do anything that night. So we faced the conflict of whether we were going to change or find a solution and break or continue to get stopped all game. So our solution was to distribute the ball and adjust. And in this game, I ended up with 2 touchdowns and helping my team win the game with a touchdown in the last minute because we adjusted on the fly. Of which instead of me running the ball I step outside because I knew that the outside was weak and I was able to outrun the defense of secondary into the end zone. As far as from a physical therapist standpoint, physical therapists are always determined to get their patient back, always willing to help any patient at times of need at any time. And they're always listening to their patient's injuries, and if they have that conflicts with the routine that they're trying to do, they're all their exercises and which ways they think they can help themselves become better as well. And they usually adapt their routine to their handicaps and needs that they might have. As far as the education goes, I want to graduate in 6 years with a doctorate degree from St. Francis University. And in relation to a physical therapist, in order to be certified as a physical therapist, you have to have a doctorate degree and meet the state licensing requirements. Now, some of the strengths and weaknesses that I have, in particular, for example, I have good listening skills, I have good critical thinking skills. I'm also good with understanding written sentences and paragraphs and work related documents. Now, some of the weaknesses I have will be oral comprehension. I have trouble understanding ideas and information from patients that are foreign or have difficulty speaking. I believe that over time I'll be able to work with this as I become interactive with more patients from different backgrounds and ethnicities. Here's a picture of somebody getting worked with by a physical therapist with a prosthetic leg. His goal is to help him become better. Here on the left is a picture of some people that are in the Carrington House. They are outside helping the community, volunteering to make the community a better place and a cleaner place. I could not find any pictures of the Carrington House itself or the dinner at my high school when we served people from the Carrington House. An organization that I would like to the Johns Hopkins Outpatient Center. The Johns Hopkins Department of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation has recovered since 1992. Some of the organizational structures that they have are 8 convenient locations all around Maryland, forming the Johns Hopkins Rehabilitation Center network. They have also made great progress in scientific research, specifically in areas of neurological rehabilitation and stroke recovery, also in gait movement mechanics and swallowing disorders. Some of the programs that they have is an activity and mobility program. The program helps hospitalized patients start moving early and avoid risks that come with prolonged working environments. They are located all over America and have inpatient rehabilitation units. What these units are units that are equipped with everything to help patients recover after stroke and other neurological conditions. For example, conditions like spinal cord injuries and orthopedic injuries. Lately, they released the news article about diagnosing orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and for short, this is called POTS. POTS. There was a study in this article that estimated that POTS affected 0.5 million individuals in the U.S. There are doctors working on POTS and treating patients with POTS in the country, and one of them would be Dr. Tae Young, who also works at Johns Hopkins University and Hospital. Tae Young said that the number is high and it is probably lower. Johns Hopkins' mission statement and vision is "Together we will deliver the promise of medicine." This is supported by their mission to improve the health of the community and the world by setting the standard of excellence, specifically education, research, and clinical care. Some of the reasons why I would love to work for this organization is because Johns Hopkins is very diverse and inclusive. And what I mean by this is they have people that come from all types of backgrounds and different types of countries that come to America to work at Johns Hopkins University with different cultural backgrounds and different religious standards. They also are continuing to educate medical students, scientists, and healthcare professionals to this day, and they provide patient-centered medicine to prevent and diagnose and treat human illness. So some of the reasons why I think I would be a good match for the Johns Hopkins Outpatient Center is for 3 reasons. One being cultural, another being organization structure, and another being working environments. I believe that my cultural preference, I prefer a very diverse organization. I'd rather work in an organization where there are people from different backgrounds than work in an organization that is ran by one race. As far as the organizational structure, they're very flexible and enriched, and that's also the type of organization that I would love to work for because as a physical therapist, you have different patients with different injuries. It is highly rare that you will see the same type of injury on the same person that has to be treated the same exact type of way. Another thing that can benefit from having structure is also because physical therapists have control on how they want to treat the patient. They have control on what exercises and routines they want to give them. They also have control on how they should work out and exercise outside of physical therapy to help them become better in the quickest way they can get to 100%. As far as the working environment, I prefer a stable environment, not much turbulent change. Clear who is in charge and who is running things in the organization. It shouldn't be a whole bunch of people trying to boss everybody around and make commands here and there. Now, as far as my action plan, some traits and skills and characteristics that I think I need improvement on would be oral comprehension. Like I said before in the previous slide, I'm not really good with understanding ideas and information from patients of different backgrounds and ethnicities. And I feel like that I can improve with this over time, speaking with different people of different backgrounds, helping my understanding of their language and what they're trying to say. As far as my SMART goals are specific, measure, action oriented, relevant, time oriented goals. I have three SMART goals that I would like to accomplish. One of them being getting my doctoral degree in 6 years, and the way that I can complete this goal is by studying and completing all the criteria requirements that I have to pass in order for me to become a physical therapist. Also, I want to pass my physical therapy class. I have to, and in order to complete this, I have to spend as much time as I do on the football field in the books. And my last goal to complete will be becoming better on oral comprehension. And in order to do this, I have to converse with more people of diverse backgrounds and improve my understanding of how they speak and how they communicate. Some of the ways that I think are good in gaining skills and knowledge to becoming a physical therapist would be going to events, job shadowing, club or organizations, internships, and the St. Francis. I believe that the St. Francis Library and Database can help me because I can research guides and skills necessary to have in becoming a good physical therapist. I also believe that interning at Johns Hopkins Hospital and outpatient clinics and the Union Memorial Hospital outpatient clinics can give me hands-on experience and show me what an actual situation would feel like so that I know what to expect when I actually become a physical therapist. I believe that going to clubs and organizations, for example, attending PTOs at St. Francis University, physical therapy organization meetings, are basically where they give discussions and lay out a set of events where they're going to have things like the prevention education events that help give you knowledge on parts of medicine and exercises that you can do to help people. As far as the job shadowing, like I said, shadowing at outpatient clinics and hospitals, and some of the events I would do, and that some of the events that I have already done would be volunteering as a patient for practical exams. I've already volunteered for a pulmonary exam that I did last weekend that helped me figure out more exercises to help treat a patient's problems, and also attend prevention education events. For example, the cancer prevention education event that's being held at St. Francis University by the Physical Therapy Club. In conclusion, I learned a lot about myself from taking this class. I also learned that I have a preference for humanistic and flexible cultures, and some of those type of cultures could be high tech and small business. And I also tend to reveal a more blended style of decision making. Now I also think about what I say and the outcome that can come from what I've said before saying it. And I also respond positively to enrich jobs. I love having a job that's challenging and has less repetitive work. I want to have a job that's different, that has something to offer every day, and it's not the same repetitive work day in and day out. Now, as far as how this will help me in the future, I will know how to differentiate between different styles of businesses and cultures, and I will be able to choose words with care when making decisions. Now, some of the things that I would like to add about my experiences this fall semester that I completely enjoyed the class 100%, and I love the many assignments that you gave us that helped me figure out what type of style I preferred and what type of person I was. And I want to thank you for listening to my PowerPoint presentation.